Hello and welcome back to a different kind of video today. As a lifelong Yugi fan, I really love talking about my favourite characters from the show. So today I wanted to rank all 6 of the main protagonists from the 6 main shows. I may have a slight bias towards the first 3, as I've seen them multiple times compared to the last 3, which I've only seen once. But these are all my opinions and I'd love to hear your favourites as well. First up is our main protagonist from Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal, Yuma, which is probably my least favourite of the 6 shows, which explains a lot why Yuma is so low for me. I really struggled to get through the first season of Zexal, and I believe the main reason was I just didn't enjoy Yuma as a main character. He was so different to the previous 3. At the start his skill as a trainer was really weak and he always required help from Astral, which I didn't really like. It just made him seem reliant on others to win, and he had no real strength or ability of his own. He gets a lot better as the series goes on. His main qualities are his relationship with his friends. He always wants to protect them no matter what the cost, and the 2 rivalries that he forms with Shark and Kite are the strongest traits for the series as a whole. Some of the best moments in Zexal are when Yuma is facing off against either Shark or Kite, but the problem is Yuma as a character on his own doesn't really stand out for me. There are so many characters who have better traits than him and stories in Zexal alone, so overall I don't really have much to say about Yuma. He's just very forgettable for me. Maybe on a rewatch of Zexal I would come to appreciate him more, but for now he is in number 6. Next up is the greatest showman himself, Yuya Sakaki, the main protagonist of Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5. I really enjoyed Yuya's character. All of the next 5 were pretty solid for me. I liked Yuya straight away. I enjoyed his personality, how he was inspired to be like his dad to keep everyone entertained. Every time he dueled it was really fun to watch. The first 2 seasons of Arc 5 were so intriguing and different. Yuya wasn't an unbeatable duelist from the start. He had his flaws and he didn't win every duel, but he had confidence and entertained people during his duels. He didn't need help from anyone else to duel like Yuma did early on. I think Yuya was a better version of what Yuma was supposed to be, but in the 3rd season it would be the opposite. They really butchered Yuya's character, turning him into the main villain being Zark. This whole season was disappointing for a lot of people, but the first 2 seasons really hold Yuya up for me because I just enjoyed him so much, especially in the synchro dimension in his duel with Jack Atlas. Another thing I enjoyed was Yuya's relationship with his best friend and possibly even love interest, Zuzu. They cared deeply for each other, and their reunion at the end of season 2 was one of my favourite moments, and this is why Yuya is number 5. Next up is the newest protagonist from Reigns, being Yusaku Fujiki. Yusaku has done quite well to come in 4th, considering he has had the least amount of episodes to make his mark, due to Reigns ending early. I really liked his personality. At first he was very closed and he didn't really open up to anyone other than Kusanagi. He got the job done and never lost a duel. As the series progresses we see him form a lot of friendships, especially with Ai and Soulburner, and he even grows a bond with Revolver. We don't see him duel as much as other characters, but I quite enjoyed this because it lets other characters take the spotlight, and he was a solid character in an all-round solid show. Number 3 is Yusei Fudo. Yusei is probably a lot of people's favourite, and I can understand why. He has such a cool, calm personality. He barely gets rattled, he stays grounded and does what it takes to win despite the odds. He does everything he can to help his friends, and he won't leave anyone behind. Even Kalin Kessler, who turned on him and joined the Dark Signers, Yusei was willing to put his life on the line to save him and bring him back from the darkness. He's really just an all-round great guy. He has one of the best stories and growths of any of the protagonists, and he works his way up from the satellite to New Domino and ends up being the symbol that bridges the 2 areas together. He inspires everyone around him. Yusei was a great character, and that's why he makes number 3 on my list. Number 2 is Yugi Moto/Item. The first will always remain as one of the best. His unique design and hair always stands out, and I've loved this character ever since I was a kid. From the very beginning all he wanted to do was help people. Duelist Kingdom, he was fighting to save his grandpa, and then as the show goes on you learn more about Item, and his relationship between him and Yugi really is a massive part of the show. They learn to live together, 2 ideas and personalities in one mind, and sometimes they have conflicts and differences, especially in season 4 when they get separated. An arc I really loved, but despite being tested by evil villains like Marek and Pegasus, they always come out on top and they end up saving the day. And of course the ending when they duel each other for the final time and they end up going their separate ways is to this day still my favourite Yu-Gi-Oh ending, and it will never be topped. Their dynamic was incredible, and that's why they are number 2. But number 1, my favourite Yu-Gi-Oh protagonist is Jaden Yuki. It was a massive struggle to decide between Yugi and Jaden, but in the end I just love Jaden's story arc too much. He starts out as a lovable, carefree young duelist, and he is one of the best around. This guy does not lose until he comes up against Zane. He duels with heart and spirit and never gives up, and he always has a smile on his face while dueling. As long as he's having fun, he will win the duel. We see in this rematch with Zane, if he uses his head over his heart, then he doesn't perform the same. As the show goes on, his character only gets better. He gets a new deck and comes up against more terrifying villains, but his story really starts to turn in season 3. He becomes the evil supreme king ruler of the dark world. He gets taken over by darkness and it changes him forever. Since turning back into himself, he wasn't really the same. He put his friends in danger and he could never forgive himself, which leads into season 4 where he starts distancing himself from his friends and eventually he's left all alone in the Red Dawn. It's one of the saddest character arcs in Yu-Gi-Oh for me, that Jaden is left all alone after being such a carefree and happy at the start. It really hit me when I first watched it, and this is the main reason why he is my #1 favourite protagonist. Thank you for watching. Please let me know your ranking in the comments below. Please like and subscribe if you did enjoy. I plan to do all different sorts of anime content here. Thank you for watching and see you next time.